Now, one such this one is, there is a question asked, are these compounds actually dry? We have studied about this one, water of crystallization. Water of crystallization. Certain compounds have got some molecules of water in it, which is what is we call it as the water of crystallization. So, for example, we did study it earlier, the first chapter, when green nucleo or FeSO4 or 7SO is heated. Then the first thing what we had was FeSO4 plus 7SO. This 7SO is 7 molecules of water that is associated with one formula using the ferrous sulfate is known as water. So these compounds are not actually dry. Some of these compounds have got the water of crystallization. Understood it? This is the meaning of water of crystallization. There are certain number of water molecules attached to it. Now, ferrous sulfate has got 7 molecules of water. It's one molecule of ferrous sulfate has got 7 molecules of water, and this 7 molecules of water present in ferrous sulfate. Certain compounds are not actually dry. The next one is CuSO4 dot 5SO4. This 5SO is the water of crystallization. Now, what happens when this copper sulfate crystals? If we told you that in the first chapter, when this copper sulfate crystals are heated, it decomposes to the copper sulfate plus 5SO4 separate. The water of crystallization is lost. And when the water is crystallization is lost, this compound does not ionize. So this blue nucleol is bluish color, and this is greenish white color. So when a compound which has got water of crystallization is heated, and when the water of crystallization goes, the color gets changed. Remember, I told you the color is produced by ions, IONs. Cu2 plus is bluish color. And when we have CuSO4, this does not ionize, this is solid. That means its color is not there. And when it is put in water, it ionizes into Cu2 plus SO4 minus, then the color. That is why when pentahydroid copper sulfate is heated, the water flows and the color is changed. This is the so what can we say? These compounds are not actually dry. They have got certain water of crystallization. All right. The next one is the washing soda. Washing soda is a crystalline substance. So that is Na2CO3 or 10SO. This 10SO is a water of crystallization. Washing soda crystals are not actually dry. So one formula unit of sodium carbonate is has got 10 molecules of water. Therefore, this 10 molecules of water. Now down this term, efflorescence. Efflorescence. Washing soda is an efflorescent substance. Washing soda is an efflorescent substance. That is, washing soda is an efflorescent substance. That is, those substances which lose their water of crystallization, those material, those chemicals which loses their water of crystallization and crumbles to powder is efflorescent substance. So what are efflorescent? Efflorescent substances are, you can see EWF, LORE. Efflorescent substances are those which lose their water of crystallization and crumbles to powder. You know, mostly compounds are classified into two. One is deliquescent substance and the second is efflorescent. You know that what are deliquescent substances? Liquid substances are those which absorb moisture and becomes wet. Those material which absorbs moisture and becomes wet is deliquescent. And efflorescence is just opposite. You know that normally we say common salt becomes, that is common salt, kitchen salt, table salt becomes wet during the monsoon season. Common salt becomes wet during the monsoon season is what is generally said. Common salt is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is not a deliquescent substance. Whereas the sodium chloride has got certain percentage of magnesium chloride. Magnesium is a micronutrient leader. So that magnesium chloride is a deliquescent substance that absorbs moisture and that makes a table salt sticky. Sodium chloride is not a deliquescent substance. It does not absorb moisture. Whereas the table salt what we use contain little bit of magnesium chloride, and that magnesium chloride is a deliquescent substance that makes common salt, table salt. Really, so broadly substances are classified into two: deliquescent and efflorescent substances. Deliquescents are those which absorb moisture and becomes wet. Examples you can take calcium chloride. Deliquescent substance is calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium nitrate, etc. These are deliquescent substances which absorb moisture. And certain materials lose water crystallization, crumble to powder when exposed to the air, and that is what is known as efflorescent substance. Sodium chloride is an efflorescent substance. So all these substances, chemicals which have got water crystallization, they are not actually dry, they have got water crystallization. So on heating, the water crystallization will be lost. So that is the reason the washing soda crystals crumble to powder. When you take washing soda from the bottle, it is crystalline form. And what are crystalline, we are studying all those materials which have got certain constant geometrical shape. They have got a particular shape. Like we say, sugar is crystalline, common salt is crystalline. They are typical in nature. So certain materials which have a constant geometrical shape are called crystalline. Crystalline substances, their crystalline nature is due to the presence of water. On heating or on leaving exposed there, the water crystallization will be lost and then the shape will change, they become non-crystalline. So washing soda is unacceptable. Okay, going back to the next topic. Now, on these questions, I told you explain everything on heating the water crystallization is lost. That is what is taking place. Now, we have studied about yesterday gypsum and plaster of Paris. Gypsum means CaSO4.2, dihydrated calcium sulfate. Dihydrated calcium sulfate, which is a hard substance, very hard substance. That is mined. It is mined from the ground. It is taken from the ground. It's a naturally occurring substance. Calcium sulfate dihydrate is gypsum. And when this gypsum is heated at 100 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius or 270 then some of the water crystallization is lost. Then we will be getting CaSO4 dot half is 2, and this is how we get plaster of Paris. So what is plaster of Paris? Hemihydrate calcium sulfate. That is obtained by heating gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius. And plaster of Paris is a very soft material. It's a very soft powder. Gypsum is very hard. And what is the use of the? I told you yesterday. Gypsum is used in the manufacture of cement. Cement has got certain setting time. Some cement, you know, that same cement cannot be used for making a drainage, which cannot be used for making a building. The drainage means the water goes continuously, where the cement has to set very fast. And whereas building needs to be constructed, its setting will take its own time. So there are two, and this difference in setting time is due to the presence of gypsum percentage. 2% onward, gypsum is the one which is present in the cement. The gypsum is added to increase the setting time. Gypsum is less, it sets faster. Gypsum is more, it sets longer. And that is why you know that when you read the advertisement of the cements, it is mentioned grade, 43 grade, 52 grade, different grades of cements are there. Different grades means it is depending on the setting, and that depends on the amount of gypsum. So on heat in gypsum we get plaster of Paris. Now what happens? Why this plaster of Paris is being used in all these purposes? Plaster of Paris is used in making force of making fire resistance and etc. So plaster of Paris CaSO dot of this when water is added, it forms a paste and then it gets converted into CaSO compound. So to the plaster of Paris, when water is added, it becomes this. That is why plaster of Paris being used for making all these things. All these things in the sense that definitely like we know that the plaster of Paris statues, the statues are made up of plaster of Paris, but that actual statue where it is made, Paris, it contains gypsum. Plaster of Paris, we make a paste of that, and that paste is put into the mold. After some time it gets dried up, you remove that, and that becomes a statue. And the statue is actually having gypsum. So that is what one thing what they say that when gypsum is heated above 100 degrees Celsius, then it is known as red burnt plaster. So they said when gypsum is heated above 100 degrees Celsius, it loses a water oxidation and we CaSO4, what is known as anhydrous. When gypsum is heated above 100 degrees Celsius, what do we get? We get dirt, burnt plaster. It's a low use. That is anhydrous calcium sulfate is okay. So plaster of Paris is prepared by heating gypsum in a controlled resolution of why should control heating of gypsum is needed? So what is the answer? If it is heated above 100 degrees Celsius, anhydrous plaster of Paris is anhydrous calcium sulfate is obtained, which is of no use because to this calcium sulfate anhydrous matte water is insoluble, it remains that way. It does not form in the hard substance, neither in the soft substance. If your powder like anhydrous calcium sulfate, put some water into that, the base is formed, after drying it becomes again powder. So the material should have certain specification. It must be controlled heat. So that is the reason, and this is the same reason and that makes the plaster of Paris into what these things. You know that we make airtight containers by filling with plaster of Paris. Wall sloping is made plaster of Paris. Statues are made plaster of Paris. Fire resistant building plaster of Paris is used because all these things. Plaster of Paris calcium sulfate is not a compressible material. So all these things. There is a question asked in NCERT book. Why should plaster of Paris be kept in airtight containers? The reason is, if it is not kept in airtight container, it absorbs moisture and becomes the hard gypsum. Plaster of Paris must be kept in airtight containers. If it is exposed to the air, then it will absorb moisture and becomes a hard material. Clear? This is about plaster of Paris. The next one. Some of the questions which have been given. Now, coming back to the uses of certain uses, I will tell you washing soda or baking soda is baking soda is used as an antacid. NaCO3 is used as an antacid. Yeah, saturated the stomach has got acid in it. If excess of acid is there, then what happens? The acidity problem is produced, and acidity problem can get solved only by an alkaline material. So what has happened? For sodium and acids and bases we are doing it. Washing soda or baking soda is a salt of strong base and weak acid. Strong base it contains NaOH and acid is carbonic acid. So weak acid, strong base, it is basic in nature, and this basic nature will utilize the acid percentage. In case somebody has the stomachache of acidity problem, what you can do is take a pinch of baking soda, or a little bit more than put it in a glass containing water, dissolve it and drink it, the acidity problem may get reduced little bit. If it is mild, it can get reduced. And that is how baking soda is being used. Understood it clearly? One such important use is that. Yesterday I did explain what makes baking soda used in the process of baking cakes. Baking soda on heating will form NaCO3 plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. In the dry heat, the thing, carbon dioxide gases produce and release of carbon dioxide make the thing soft and fluffy. Understood it? But what is most important? When the baking soda is used, what is used is washing soda, sodium carbonate. So it tastes like soap, or that is bitter in taste. Therefore, to neutralize the taste, we'll be putting a weak organic acid in this, like tartaric acid is added. So baking powder contains why should tartaric acid be added into baking soda for the baking purposes? If we use only baking soda on heating, the final product is washing soda. The cake has become fluffy, soft, and everything, but that contains washing soda that will taste different. So neutralize that taste, one must have little acid. That is the reason. So let us summarize all these things what we have studied. Any questions? Like bleaching powder must be kept in airtight containers. The answer is different. Why? Because if not, atmospheric carbon dioxide reacts and chlorine gas will be released, which is of no use. The bleaching powder must be kept in airtight containers. Otherwise, what happens? Bleaching powder plus carbon dioxide will form calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate means chalk powder plus chlorine gas is lost in the atmosphere. And once the chlorine is lost, it is of no use. That is one. Plaster of Paris must be kept in airtight containers. Reason: if not, it absorbs moisture and becomes hard gypsum, which is of no use. So, answer is, question is the same, answer is different. So, don't get confused. Bleaching powder, if left exposed, combines with atmospheric carbon dioxide and releases chlorine to form calcium carbonate, and chlorine is released. So, then that bleaching powder does not have any chlorine, which is of no use. And plaster of Paris, if not stored in airtight containers, it absorbs moisture and becomes hard gypsum. And once the plaster of Paris becomes hard, it is of no use. We cannot use it for any purpose because it is one use. That should be so. Then, why should gypsum be heated in a controlled way? Answer I told you. It should be heated in a controlled way so that the water of crystallization should not be lost. If water of crystallization is lost, then it does not regain its property. So that is why it should be heated in a controlled way. Alright. The next one, the presence of tartaric acid in washing in baking powder. Then again, what is given? We can use any carbonate, baking carbonate, baking soda or washing soda can be used in fire extinguishers. Soda acid fire extinguishers. Soda acid fire extinguishers means it has a diluted solution of NaCO3 or NaCO3, and that is made to react with the of concentrated H2SO4. When this is reacted with concentrated H2SO4, we will be getting sodium sulfate plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. So this mixture comes out with very high pressure, and that is used to extinguish the fire. When anything is on fire, soda acid fire extinguisher contains diluted solution of washing soda or baking soda, and there contains a bottle which contains concentrated H2SO4. You hit the knob, the bottle breaks, the concentrated acid reacts with washing soda solution. Very high pressure is created. Because of the high pressure, the entire mixture comes out, whole mixture will come out, and that is used to fire. Another higher how the fire can extinguish. To understand that, we need three things. Fire is there because first is ignition temperature, there is a lower temperature which is required, and the second one it needs a combustion. Understood it? So the third one is a combustion. Forget about that. So first one, the water produced is sprinkling on the burning material, then the temperature is brought down lower than the ignition temperature. So for example, if the paper catches fire at 100 degrees Celsius, you put some water onto that area, then if the paper's temperature is less than 100 degrees Celsius, the paper will not catch fire. Water present by this function bring down the ignition temperature. And carbon dioxide cut off the supply of oxygen. Photocombustion is permitted, that is pyrolysis. So soda acid fire extinguisher contains all these. These all you should know. Understood it? So this is all about today. I'm going to so